I came here to support the parents who want to keep the schools open. The schools need to be open. The school is one of the safest places for the children to be. We see there's no spread in the schools. There's many studies that have showed there's no spread in the school all over the world. These schools need to be open. The kids need to be in school. They need to be learning so they can advance. We can't use this, as Chancellor Carranza said, he wants to not let the crisis go to waste. We can't let Carranza and de Blasio destroy our children's education, and that's why I came out today.
That was so well said. I don't even need to ask a second. Why do you think the middle and high schools need to be reopened?
The schools need to be open because the children need to go to school. The children are losing a whole year of their lives. This is ridiculous. We know that the infection rate for the children is extremely low. They can be protected. They are not learning properly. The remote learning doesn't work for them. They are getting behind in every single way. And it's socially, mentally, physically, they are not getting any of the facilities that they need. And this is causing a lot more damage to them. Think about it. We have people who are not getting sick from the COVID, but they're going to get sicker and sicker from this. And the children are not the ones that we need to protect in this way. We need to protect the elderly, obviously. People with pre-existing conditions, we need to take care of that. But the children need to be in school and helped for their learning. And we should not let the politicians get in the way of that.
So what do you think Mayor de Blasio should do in terms of opening the middle and high schools?
They should open it as soon as possible and get the kids back in studying and doing the right thing. Children are supposed to be studying, they're supposed to be learning, they're supposed to be playing, they're supposed to be just growing, and this is stifling.
We're parents from all 5 boroughs. We want schools to be open. We do not want a school system with 2 systems in which some kids have to stay home and then the rest of the kids have to go to school. We have a problem with K-6 schools. The 6th graders cannot go to school, but K-5 students, they are allowed to go to school, right? And either open up all the schools, right? And all high schools. I mean, just like the Catholic schools. We learn from the Catholic schools, they're doing fine. They enforce social distancing, and nobody's sick. We do not see students sick or hospitalized. We should learn from them. Mayor de Blasio said it himself, our schools are the safest in the country. Dr. Fauci said it too. We should close down the bars, but we should open up the schools. So let's do that. Open up the schools, all schools, not just certain grades.
Why do you think the schools need to be reopened in New York City?
Okay, the school compared to the bars, to the restaurant, to a lot of public places, the school is much safer than those places. So, and also a lot of families just don't have the resource to support the remote learning for their kids. For the younger kids, say the kids below 3rd grade, I have seen so many cases that they don't know how to log in, they don't know how to use the device. After they log in, they cannot find the Google Classroom. Even if when they get into the Google Classroom, different teachers use different programs, different softwares to assign homework, to distribute the learning materials. So I mean, young kids just cannot find that, just cannot figure out how does that work without a system. Even many parents don't have the ability, don't have the capacity to figure out everything how it works. So the young kids definitely needs to be at school. So and even for the middle school and high school students, so there's a little bit of material, but still the in-class learning, the quality, it cannot be matched with the remote learning. So like many students, so they feel psychologically they have issues because they lack of the environment with their classmates and with their teachers, and many programs like the robotics programs, that like the swimming team, like the soccer, so they cannot be done remotely, and and also I mean my two kids, they're both public high school students, so
How old are they?
How old are they? They're 15 and 17.
Oh, so they're in high school.
Yeah, so they're 10th and 12th graders. So they would love to go back to school if they have a choice. And I would love to send them back to school if I can, but now I cannot.
So as a parent, like are there some difficulties you're having with like your kids being at home instead of being at school?
Well, I know for many families that's a burden. I mean, for us, we are okay. We can survive that with that. But still, we can see the learning quality is not compatible. So like my older kid, he chose to have all his classes in the afternoon. So I don't know why. He doesn't tell us everything, but that's what he chose. But I remember that in the active school semester, so he had classes from 8 to like 2:30 non-stop. But now it's like he only has 3 classes every day. So, and I support the school open, but to be more precisely, I want that to be, to be under safe environment. So I understand that many Chinese parents, in average, they are more concerned about the school safety. So that's what I see. That today there are some Chinese parents, but not that many. So we understand that, we respect that. But all we want is that to give the parents and to give students a choice. So if some parents are overwhelmingly concerned about safety, so there is remote learning. But for students and for families like me, who love to send back their students to school, so they should have that choice also. Especially, as I said in the beginning, for the even younger kids. So they just like a lot of families, a lot of parents, they have to work. They cannot be full day, to supervise their kids doing the remote learning, or they cannot afford to send them to the tutoring center. So they have to have the choice. So now it's like I'm glad to see that tomorrow some K-5 schools are open, but I just don't understand why, if the elementary schools can be open, why not the middle school and high school? So we are really, really concerned. So is that because the DOE didn't do enough work, because they are lazy, or because they were concerned that because everybody knows that the mayor and the chancellor wanted to use this opportunity to get rid of the SHAT and the GNT. So we have been protesting, we have been demanding, we have been requesting but they have been postponing. They don't have. So we.
Why are you here today? And why do you think?
Yeah, I'm here today because I want the middle schools and the high schools to also open. We're really grateful that the mayor decided to reopen elementary schools. So that's great, but you know what? We need to do the same thing for middle schools and high schools in our city. Because middle school and high school students need to be in classrooms.
And what do you think, like what are the parents' difficulties right now that they're facing with the kids at home?
I mean, I think both the parents and students are really facing a lot of difficulties in trying to do remote at home. Parents have lives, whether it's working as essential workers in workplaces like hospitals and restaurants and supermarkets, or it's they're doing office work, or they're working remote. They still need to be on their meeting calls and doing their work. So to really try to take care of their kids while they're also working is really a challenge. The other is everyone's home life is different. Some kids have their own room and they can have all the setup that's comfortable. But to be honest, a lot of people in our city do not have that comfort at home. So they're living in small spaces with limited internet, with limited devices, and lots of distractions at home. And our kids are really not getting the best and most appropriate environment to actually learn. So, I mean, I think that's another big downside, is that we can't control for the subpar environment that the kids are getting, and we need to put them back in schools if that's something they want to do. So I want to say that I understand some families, especially a lot of Asian families, don't feel safe in sending their kids to school or just don't want to. I respect that. But for the families that do want their children to go back to school, we should have that option. And the mayor needs to open the schools so that middle school and high school students can also return.
That was very well said. Thank you a lot.
Keep schools open.